Well, welcome back, Planet Zoo adventurers, to another episode of Planet Zoo here on UK Theme Parks. And yeah, we've been having a whale of a time. This is going to be our new big area. So this is attached to our African area. As you can see, I've already started the fences for the perimeter. I'm not 100% sure what animals are going to go in here yet. However, we do want to get a monorail ride up and running. It's the first time we've built one of these. We haven't really test built one of these either, so we're not sure how it's going to go. We need to move that. We kind of put that in there. So yeah, there's a few things that we need to do, and there's a few bits and pieces we need to change, but ideally we'll just get this up and running, make sure it works all right, get it back to there. That's our queue. So funny enough, with the queue section, you have to go what's with the ride, which is only 2 queuing options. Why have you got these beautiful paths around the park? You can't use them for the rides, which is really, really odd. Now, because of the type of animals that we're having in this enclosure, we are going to go for a safari Skyway type one rather than a safari through the fences. Although we haven't sussed out the through the fences yet, we do know it's possible, and it is something we'll try later down in the episode when we expand this African area. So although we are going to put Indian rhinos down the back, this area will be expanded, and we will definitely look for a nice Jeep one. And I think as well you can have people going through them. Something to look forward to. But this is our monorail. Look at that little zoom round. So we're going to have a big lake through here, massive lake through the whole of this. So it looks like one big sort of African plains. That will venture out to here as well, where we'll probably have a bridge going over there to another section. And there's the water. Look at that. Look at that. Now then, we're going to split this into a couple of sections. So I think what we're going to have in the big lake area is we are going to have the hippos. I think we will have a hippo area in here. Let's bring these back down. There we go. Bring those back in line. And then back in. We'll raise these up. Most of it up. There we go. Right. So we're going to have the hippos in the big area. I think we'll have the rhinos, although they're not actually the African rhinos, they are the Indian rhinos, which I know should probably go in an Indian section, but I do like the rhinos, so I think the rhinos will go over there, and I think also we will probably have flamingos. But this is going to be a massive area for this, and we do as well want to do an underwater viewing tank too, so that people can walk by and hopefully see the hippos swimming. I don't know how much they're going to go in it. I don't know how much they go through it. I'm really hoping the glass holds after seeing the elephants go through it, but we'll see. We'll see. Now, we need to get the houses in, and we need to get the bedding in as well. And of course, to put in that underwater section, we'll have to connect it to one of the lakes, and we'll have to do underwater from sort of out here, lower it down, reconnect the fence. There we go, we'll pop that down. Does go down quite nicely. Never goes up. Never goes up. So we'll probably have to remove that. Go back up and to there. Right, so we'll raise this up much like we did with the other ones over the other side. We'll have some sheets of glass, and hopefully that holds the hippos in. So there's the water, and that is a large piece of water going right the way across there. Large piece of water. Now we want to get a few houses in here. We definitely want to get some toys for them, some enrichments. Sorry, I say toys. We want to get some enrichments for them so that the hippos are happy. I guess I can have a little water shower. We can change the temperature of it, but I think we'll have probably a cold water shower. We'll have a couple next to each other. It'll be interesting to see if they go through those, to be honest. And we'll have another bed over this size as well. Probably need beds per ones. Put some bedding in. There we go. Make sure they're happy there. And put some food bowls. We'll put some over here. We can't really have any close to the viewing area so much because there's no land behind it, so I'm really just hoping they come for a swim down here and that people can see them, because the only other place that you'll be able to see the hippos is going to be from, yeah, it's going to be from the ride. It's going to be from the ride. We're going to have a little bridge coming over, and then we need to branch out to some facility. And the weather is starting to plummet. See the temperature at the bottom right is starting to plummet. That means only one thing, and it's going to be our actual first snowstorm. So now when we turn the heat map on, you can see what is warm. But whoa, when we turn it off, you can see where the snow settles. So we are definitely going to have to put some heaters in on the hippo cage, which we haven't done yet. It takes a little bit of time to warm up. So we'll pop some in, and you'll see them starting to melt. The area's starting to melt. Make sure it's in their kind of bed areas as well. And we're going to build the path along. Oh, that was a bit wide. I don't want one that big. Build the staff path across here. Come into there. We get a few facilities in there. They're quite happy. So the rain's come now straight away and washed all the snow away. Much like it does in the UK, to be honest. Quite late. I say quite late snow. It's February snow. It's not that late. Lions, we've got quite a lot of lions in there at the moment, but juveniles you can't actually move out. You can't release the juveniles into the wild. You can't send them anywhere other than your trade centre ready for when they get adults. So I'd rather leave them in the cage, to be honest with you, as really it's much nicer for them. Now then, we're going to put all the staff facility blocks down here. We'll put the Fiend African ones in. You know, again, people don't like seeing them, but we are going to need some power, and we're going to need some water as well. And as we can see as well, we don't really cover the hippo area very well at all. That doesn't connect. That's a bit frustrating that doesn't connect. These don't connect very well to the path at all. They seem to need quite a lot of space. So what we'll have to do... Nope, it's not going to connect. We're going to have to move it. It just doesn't connect. For whatever reason, it just doesn't connect. So we're going to bring the path round. I'm going to have to bring the path round here and then add it down here, which is a real shame that just... Oh, it's a pain. It's a pain getting it connected. There we go. We've got it connected. But it doesn't cover a lot. So this is a real problem now because, you know, this is going to really encroach into a visitor area down the bottom. Not so much up the top here, so we're going to have to build a staff path to go up top in order to get water and power up there. And, you know, you can't expand the range of it either. You genuinely got to have these. So I think what we'll have to do, we're going to have to edit the barrier here, and we're going to have to come into the enclosure in order to have some... We're going to reroute this. Right, let's reroute the monorail. Oh, no. That's an ambitious... that was an ambitious auto, so that's an ambitious auto. There we go, we're going front, just over the hut there. So we're going to have to bring it in to have some water facilities because of the range, which is a real problem when you go for these big cages. Because you can't have... I don't know if you can connect a path from the other side. I think we'll have to check at some point whether or not you can connect a path from the other side. I'm not overly sure whether you can. We're going to have to quite quickly reroute this, put another water treatment in here. There we go, we'll bring that down, bring that at a slightly different angle, bring that around, there we go, that's connected. As long as it's connected for now, that's fine. Flatten that out and we'll have another water facility in here. Now, we do still have a bit of a problem over the back, so we're going to have to extend the staff path even further down, right the way around. I think at the end of the day it's going to end up joining, and we're going to have another water treatment there, another water treatment there. It still doesn't quite cover that little piece in the middle. I can't really see what we can do about that, and honestly, hopefully it doesn't make too much of a difference, fingers crossed. Right, let's adopt some hippos. Let's get some hippos into our enclosure and make sure that they are going to be happy and we've got the environment right. So far we haven't done any terrain work. We're pretty much all long grass. Not sure they're going to like the long grass. I imagine they're going to want some rock and soil. We're going to quickly save it because we've had crashing problems. What you'll notice now is it is about to snow again. As the temperature plummets, I think it's about to snow because we had a game crash. However, we've got quite a lot done in that meantime. We have paused the game on a couple of bits to sort of catch up with ourselves so you guys aren't viewing the same things over and over again. Now then, here's the terrain edit. As you can see, just got to match them up in the middle. It's your choice which way you go, as long as everything is in the green. They seem to like these massive trees. They like the little trees as well, which is great. They like these ones. They like these ones. And again, funnily enough, they don't want too much. They don't want too much in there. We don't want to go OTT. Make sure that's out the way of the monorail. Put a couple around there. Hopefully the views from the monorail, I'm assuming from the monorail, people will be able to see it without any problems, which is the idea of having it. I really can't see the idea of having it otherwise. You know, I know it's a transport ride, but I'd like to think that people can see down on the animals as they go round. Right, now that's done, we are saving once again. And we save just as the snow hits. Now we are going to need a few more... yeah, we are going to need a few more heaters, I think, in here. Because you can see the hippos, although they'll make their way inside all right, there is a bit of a gap. The zebra, look, this is what we have. We have a habitat on the right-hand side here where the zebra is freezing cold, where we've done a little bit of the cage, but not all of it. Same on saltwater crocodile. They're not particularly happy. So yeah, you know, your heating is absolutely imperative, and I understand as well from obviously the snow leopard front that if you put the snow leopard in and it's hot outside, you will need to put coolers in as well. Now then, we are getting a little bit overkill on the lions, so we're going to release some back to the wild, although again it doesn't make too much of a difference in this game, in this mode, sorry, I say in this game. You know, it is massive that you release back into the wild. Hippos will come out now the snow's gone, which is great. It says their habitat isn't big enough, they haven't got quite enough. It's definitely a bit, I don't know what we're going to do about this water. Not sure what we're going to do about this water. So I think what we'll have to do is we're going to have another path up here, cut this one small and have another one in to cover that area. They need some more hard shelter, so we're going to have to put another shelter in for them as well. Which one did we use? That's the one. And we're going to pop that over the back here, actually, a little bit more secluded over the back. Stick some hay in it, and that's pleased them. So that is the hippos in. The hippos are in. Apologies for all the saving, but honestly, we've lost so much work the last hour and a bit that, you know, when you spend an hour or so doing stuff, and although it does auto-save a little bit, it is a nightmare when you lose some real key work. So we're going to have a path that literally walks down here. We're going to make people walk down here, so these paths up the top won't be connected. Oh, we've got adults. Right, so I missed the adult going into adulthood, and as soon as the males go into adulthood, they do challenge effectively their father. Now, obviously, we want to breed in pairs, so we need to get rid of the younger male out of the zoo. We can release him into the wild, we can do him as a quick trade, but on this occasion, this one and the other female we will release into the wild so we can carry on having breed in pairs. We'll do that with the girls as well until the lions get a little bit older, because as we said, when the lions sort of hit 11 and 12, they stop breeding, and you know, you then kind of want to keep the juveniles, particularly the females, all ready for when you need to get a new male lion. So this is how this is going to look. This is, people are going to walk down here. We're going to have to do some enclosing over this area as well, because it's quite big. I've got a bit of a problem. Lion. Right, so we're going to wait for this one to reach adulthood, because they are going through shelter area. So we've got a bit of a problem here with the exhibit. It's saying it's dirty. Dirty. Right, we're going to carry on building. We'll call a keeper in. We can only call keeper in once a month. Oh, right. Well, there goes our male. So our male has died. Yeah, our male's died. So we can get a new male straight in there, because he can breed with. He'll be able to breed with all of them. So we'll get a new male in as well, but we do have a bit of a problem with the enclosure down the bottom here. I'm not overly sure what the problem is. However, it does seem a constant problem with Exhibit 8, which is the hippo enclosure. We're going to try and put a few staff facilities in over here, whether or not they can't get to it quick enough, and I think we'll assign the workload, some staff to the workload as well. We're going to have to completely redo this bit to make sure that it's a wide enough path that people go down there, and also come over to, we obviously want them to come over to the new ride, particularly we want to go on the new ride, so we'll extend that bit up, and we'll have that bit come around. I find the paths even worse than Planet Coaster, and they can be a nightmare in Planet Coaster. There we go, and we'll connect the staff path, and there we go. Now then, are we all happy in there? Yes, they're all in there. Right, let's have a look at what we can do next. Now then, we've got a couple more enclosures we want to build down here. So I think ideally this path will go right the way down here, and there'll be a viewing area for the rhinos down the bottom. And again, the flamingos are only going to be seen from the safari Skyway, if you will. I say Safari Skyway, it's very Chessington reminiscent, but from the monorail. I think they're going to be seen from the monorail. So we're going to bring this one out, because I don't think the rhinos have quite enough space. We'll bring this out, and then we'll have some glass panels in down there. I say glass, we're going to try glass panels in down there, we'll see how they go. And if not, we'll have some chain ones. So we'll get some water in. We know the treatment is okay in this area because of the way we've done it, so it shouldn't be a problem. These are quite small enclosures that the flamingos have. So this will be the flamingo enclosure. And I think what we'll do is we'll pop a couple of flamingo ones in there, because we are kind of expecting them to potentially breed. And I think you can have quite a lot in one enclosure. So yeah, I think we'll get quite a few in there, a few huts. We'll get some hay in there as well shortly, but we'll just make sure obviously that the habitat is ready to roll. Now, if you're not on the Skyway ride, you will notice you will not see the flamingos. So I'm really hoping they can see from the ride. I'm sure we'll get some feedback if they can't from the guests, but we'll get a few enrichment items in there. As we said, the paddock to the left will be the Indian rhinos. They will be moved. I do want rhinos in the park, but we want to make a paddock first for them and then move them out to an Indian area when we get to that. But it definitely add some spice to the zoo, and people will want to come and see the rhinos. I don't know why there isn't a white rhino actually. I must have another look. I'm sure there isn't, but we must have a look. So we're going to set up these enclosures now before getting the animals in there. as we said, we can get up the basics, we can get the food in there, we can get the enrichment items in there because we can see what they're for and which one goes for which animal. It's just the terrain, we'll have to wait until we get the animal in to double check the terrain. But let's get the rhinos in. So let's get some Indian rhinos in here. There we go. And let's get some flamingos. We'll get them delivered to our middle one. Not sure if there'll be any fighting conflicts or anything, but we will soon find out. We're going to save it because we've had nothing but crashes the last few days, so we are going to save it. Right, where are they? Here comes. Right, here's a rhino. So let's change. He wants some more. He actually wants some more enrichment items, which is a bit. I thought we had enough in there, but obviously we don't. So we'll have those in as well. A couple of those kicking around, and we definitely need to get. Again, the long grass has really proved a problem for us on all the enclosures as we kind of split. So he wants a little bit more mud and a little bit more rocks. We'll add a bit of rock in the corner. He can have some grassland ones. Go with these. He's happy with these. That's all right. We'll get those tucked away. Can't get the plants in, and that's it. We've a few. There we go. There we go. Get a few smaller trees around the area. Less so on the plants, but more so on the trees on these ones. So we'll pop a few in and we'll max it out best we can to kind of enclose it a bit more. Now then, flamingo. Well, he's got the real wrong territory. Again, long grass causing us a problem. We'll get some soil in there. Get some rock up the top for them. Change a bit of short grass, and our biome look is massive. They can have loads and loads of different ones from where they come from. So we'll go for slightly smaller ones, I think. That's a general rule in here. Go, tuck those away. You can't have many, you can only cover sort of 20% of the enclosure, so they don't want too many plants and trees, and he's already sick. So off he goes to the vet. He barely stepped foot in the enclosure, and off he goes to the vet. That's brilliant. That's absolutely brilliant. Now, we're having a real problem with this habitat, trying to keep this clean, and the water pump is going mental over here. Going absolutely mental. When we look through, look how dirty the water is. We do have the treatment plants, which is making it even more annoying that this is getting so dirty. I'm sure the plants really do cover enough. Really do cover enough, so I don't really understand, to be honest with you. Although this one's broken. I think we're going to have to get some more mechanics in to come and fix these, and we'll probably have to change. That one's broken as well. They're all breaking. They're all breaking. Right, we're going to connect a path up to the top area so people will be able to walk between it. It's probably less relevant at this current time. However, as the zoo expands, we will need paths to go across here. And we'll add a viewing area in for the rhinos as well, for the people that can't get on the ride, because the ride seems to be really, really popular. It is the only ride we've got. As I said, we will look for a drive-through safari as well as the park expands. But that water's not doing very well. It's not doing very well. Okay, well, we'll have to see. We'll get the water pumps repaired. It seems there's enough water pumps around, although they seem to be breaking quite quickly. I think we are going to have to get some more engineers in. We're going to bring the staff path around here as well, so they can do a loop of the zoo area. We'll bring the normal path down this bit so it all connects. Again, mainly for future use, not quite so much important at this current time. There won't be very many people that come down here because there's not a lot of attractions. The guests will tend to stay up the top end, particularly with the safari ride open as well. We are going to have to enclose all these because they don't like seeing facilities, but we've had to kind of throw the facilities in quickly because it's caused a problem. We will save it because, as we said, we've had nothing but crashes. Right, so now then, yeah, cockroaches breed quite a lot, and you can release them to the wild quite quickly. It's just remembering to do so. And as you can see there, we had about 30 in the cage, which we need to get rid of. Overpopulates a tiny little enclosure, and the protesters will be back, which we don't want. So let's get some more mechanics and some more keepers in, and just see whether or not we can clear up what's going on in this enclosure 8. We need to rename these. I need to rename these so I know which one comes up. But it's the hippo enclosure. We need to see what's happening. We'll add a few educational pieces, and then we do need to build a very quick building around the facilities, the ones that are in the run-up to the safari area, which we've kind of put in. And we will need to enclose the other one as well, and we will need to enclose the station. You know, arguably we could have done this beforehand. Why can't I get rid of these elephants? They're still juveniles. So the elephant enclosure is getting quite busy, and we can't get rid of them because they're still juveniles. So they're just going to have to live as they are for the moment, and maybe stop breeding would be nice. But this is the one we need to get around. We've got a few broken items in there, which is wonderful. Hopefully our new mechanics will sort those out. But we're going to quickly get this enclosed. I'm pretty sure the guests won't be so anything about this. I think going forward, I think the ideal situation would be to build all these underground and have like a Disney style park where everything's built underground and you kind of walk on top of it. It's probably a bit late now to do it with this. Maybe going forward I will do it. Maybe going forward I will actually do it. And you know, then we can have that underground. We can have all the staff paths underground. Just have a few tunnels coming out. So I think as we move forward after this area, I think that's what we'll do. And then when we come back to redevelop the park, yeah, I have a feeling we'll move them down. I think this area for now, we're going to have to get this sorted. We're going to have to try and get the facilities hidden, and we'll see how well that goes over the next couple of episodes before, you know, really build the next big section. Once this area is done, we definitely need to go back and do some scenery, whether or not it's some sort of scenery and theming around our existing areas, whether or not it is hiding these buildings, whether or not we just make it look a bit fancy, because at the moment we have sort of rushed a few enclosures to make sure people come into the zoo. As I said, we do want to make money. We are in sandbox mode, but we do want to make money, and in making money, obviously it makes us it certainly makes me a little bit more confident to go into challenge mode rather than going straight into that and falling flat on the face. And as you can see from these episodes, you know, I'm a good 7-8 hours into gameplay and I'm still learning now. Like this, where I said I needed to put the hay in and forgot to put the hay in. It's the little things that unsettle them. You know, we need to kind of see what we can get away with and what we can build. You know, this enclosure 8, this hippo enclosure is causing us so many problems. You know, the habitat's right, the water's covering it. It's just not playing ball. Our water is filthy. And of course, we have seen online that people have said, oh, we'll just remove the water and replace it every 20 minutes. But you know, we want the zoo to be fairly self-sufficient in honesty. And if we do that, we're just coming back to it every sort of 20 minutes, which is not something we want to do. Says it's green, says it's covered. We'll stick another one in. We'll see if that makes any difference whatsoever. Look at the water, look. I'm surprised people are even standing there looking, to be honest with you. I don't know why they're bothering. Right, I think we're going to have to change this. I have a feeling maybe the lake's too big. Maybe the water's too big. They're just not happy. They're not happy and we don't want that. So I think what we're going to do is we are going to remove the water. But rather than just remove and replace, we're actually going to make a little crossing area around the back here. So hopefully the hippos will come into there and we'll make 2 smaller lakes. Oh dear. And there goes our adult again. So we know that from age-wise that the male won't be too far behind them, so we'll keep hold of the females for next time. Wow, what an episode. What an episode. We have built a safari, we have built some animal enclosures, some really large ones. We've completely forgotten to hide all the facilities and we have some work to do. What do you think? What do you think of Planet Zoo so far? Leave your comments below. Are you playing it? Do you want to play it? What else should we be doing? We are going to spend the next episode theming up some of these areas and making them look a little bit pretty before we go on to the big ones. And on the next ones, we are going to try some underground stuff. Join us next time here on Planet Zoo.